Oh, there you are, YouTube. Doodle 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 doo. Subscribe if you would like. No pressure though. Um, it has been pop culture overload lately. I'm on Twitter. What do I see? I see Indiana Jones 5 poster. James Mangold posts that. Then I see a trailer for Willow, and I'm like, what? I forgot this was even being made, and the trailer looks great, in my opinion. I remember I loved Willow as a child, and then, like, I'm talking like preschool, kindergarten, and then didn't watch it again till I was in college. And then when I watched it in college, I was like, ooh, ooh, not. And this was at the time when things like Lord of the Rings was coming out. So it was like the best of the best, and that's sort of what you were expecting when you were getting stuff. And then you had all these fantasy ripoffs that just weren't as good. So I was watching Willow during the time when Lord of the Rings was coming out, and it was like, not as good as I remember it when I was a kid. But this trailer I thought looked fantastic. I wonder if Val Kilmer's going to be in it at all, because he's supposedly in Top Gun. Another thing that happened right now, it's just pop culture everywhere. I haven't seen Top Gun yet. Oh, I want to very soon though, because I'm hearing fantastic things. But let's get back to Willow. Back to Willow. Okay, so yeah, is Val Kilmer gonna be in it? I don't know. Is Kevin Pollak one of the brownies? Is he gonna be in it? I hope so. I did see brownies in the trailer, but I want Kevin Pollak specifically to be back for the show. I think it looks grand. It looks epic. It probably won't be that epic. You know what? I don't even know if it's a movie or a show. Is it like Willow 2 or is it Willow the show? I don't even remember. I only watched it once. I should probably watch it again to know. So yeah, let's go through the things we just talked about. Indiana Jones 5. Is that going to be good? What's going to happen? I think I've told on here before the way I want things to work out. I know a lot of people don't like Chris Pratt, but what I would like to see Chris Pratt as the next Indiana Jones, as his son, but with Willie. And I think it would be funny if his name was Indiana Jones, or whatever. What was Willie's last name? Whatever Willie's last name is. So Indiana, Willie's last name. From Temple of Doom. I think that would be great, because he would have a kid with Marion Mutt, and his name is Henry, right? But Willie, if I remember right, I don't think she ever knows that his name is Henry. So, but I can see her maybe thinking it was proper to name her son after the dad, so she names him Indiana, which would have been hilarious. And I would like to see it be Chris Pratt. For some reason in my mind I can picture it pretty well. I think I saw some fan art maybe some years ago of that, so that's just kind of been stuck in my head. I know a lot of people don't like him very much, but I don't know. I feel like he would be good. I'm sure there are other people who would be good too, but I don't know. He's just like who pops into my head to be Indiana and Willie's kid. I for some reason can see it. So yeah, Indiana Jones, Willow, Top Gun, which I haven't partook in yet, but plan to. And then we have Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And I wore this shirt because I watched the 2 episodes today, and that were available on Disney Plus, and I figured I'm gonna wear my episode 1 shirt because that was when Ewan McGregor took on that character. That's where we saw him for the first time, right here, and it just seemed appropriate to wear this shirt. Can you hear me? Wear this shirt while watching it. So that's what I did. It felt appropriate, and okay, so at the beginning they give you this story, the story of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Obi-Wan, from episode 1 to episode 3. They fill you in on what was going on in his life, and I was tearing up a little. There, and I was like, this is amazing, and I was getting some goosebumps and everything, and I just thought all of that was great. And then I think the show is pretty good too. I don't think it fully grabbed me until the very end. And if you've watched, you know what I'm talking about. The very end of episode 2, it was kind of like, oh, really? Which I also saw this coming, and I think there have been enough like news outlets reporting this that, I knew it was going to happen, but it was cool to see. So, yeah, it's kind of like a side mission that he has to do. Like right now, he's very focused on Luke from a distance, keeping him safe from a far distance, keeping an eye on him. I don't even think Luke knows of his existence at all. But Bail Organa he has a crisis on his hands because some people has stolen Leia, like kidnapped Leia, and taken her as bait to get Obi-Wan. Because they still believe him to be alive out there, and they know, if we kidnap a high-profile daughter, then maybe he'll come over and try and help, and then we can take him out because they're trying to take out all the good Jedi, and these are bad Jedi doing this, like that have turned. So, yeah, it's kind of the side quest show where he's like, and he's very reluctant to do it because he's like, no, I'm staying here. Plus, I don't want to out myself as a Jedi. All these things, very reluctant to take part. But, so far I'm liking it. I think there are moments of choreography that maybe should have been reshot, like running choreography, because it just feels very like half rehearsed or something like that. I don't know, that sounds mean. Because I would suck at this if it were me. If it were me, I would not be good. But some of the running that I'm seeing felt a little half rehearsed. But otherwise, I like it. I'm looking forward to it. Always excited to see something from the original cast or the prequel cast. Maybe someday I'll be really into the final trilogy cast. I don't really care that much. But, the nostalgia hasn't set in yet. It's very fresh, right? So, yeah, I thought it was good. I'm looking forward to watching that. I'm very glad that they are doing it sort of weekly rather than dumping it all at once because, like I said, pop culture overload. There's another show that just started, came back, Stranger Things, but season 4. This is season 2, which actually is probably my least favorite season, but here they are dressed as the Ghostbusters. But I figure I should put this on so that I'm dressed appropriately for this next review of the first 2 episodes. That's all I've watched so far of Stranger Things. So Netflix dumps all of Stranger Things at once. I got 2 episodes in. What I think they should do is make enough episodes to last, like let's say I think they need to dump them week to week and make sure there's enough episodes to cover 3 months. Because I'm sure there are some people, Netflix is like floundering right now. They're having a tough time. And what they need to be doing is spacing out the episodes week to week so that people have to pay for 3 months worth of Netflix instead of just 1 month. And then they binge it all. I mean, obviously they could wait the 4th month, but then you have that whole FOMO thing where you feel like you're missing out. But then they're guaranteed at least 3 months of people signing up for Netflix because they got to watch all of Stranger Things. But anyway, let's talk about Stranger Things right now. So my ranking is probably season 1, season 3, then season 2, and I'm really liking this one so far. I'm not liking like all of it. They're like, so one of my biggest complaints, I think, with the 3rd one, even though I really liked the 3rd one, was that everybody was so scattered and separated. What I like are when they are together. And that's sort of what's happening here, is they are scattered again. But some of these, I don't know, locations, I guess, there's some interesting things happening that I like. So forgive me, I can't remember any of the characters' names. Although, actually, I have this visual aid. So everything that's happening with Dustin right now and his big sister, is that right? No. Dustin and his big sister's ex-boyfriend and Uma Thurman's daughter. Loving all of that. And there's like this metalhead who plays Dungeons and Dragons, and there's this whole like satanic panic thing that was going on in the 80s. Look up West Memphis 3 and stuff like that that was going on. There's a lot more of it. And they're sort of introducing satanic panic into this show because there's this kid who really likes Dungeons and Dragons, and they play with him. Wait, these three play Dungeons and Dragons with him, and he's kind of a hothead, but you know, they've had good experiences with him also. He like befriended them when they got into high school, and he's being sort of accused of this death as if, you know, he murdered this girl that he was selling drugs to. And that's not the case. It's just, you know, the underneath, the underground. I don't even sound like a fan right now. The upside down is like, you know, seeping up to the top. And I don't know, it's just very satanic panic because he's getting blamed for it. So I'm really into that. I like his journey too. He's starting to become popular, and he's trying to maintain that popularity because he could be sort of helping out by saying, you know, like, hey, Dungeons and Dragons has nothing to do with Satan and everything. But he's trying to maintain his popularity, so he's not doing that. And his side quest, I don't know, a little less interesting to me so far. Right now, I'm very interested in what's going on with the new demon or whatever. I think they called him a wizard. I think all of that is great, and it is giving me vibes of Hellraiser. It's really making me think of Hellraiser, and I like that. The monster is very sentient. It's like a person, and it's freaky and scary. It's like, why don't these kids just stop playing Dungeons and Dragons and maybe things would calm down a little bit? But this being, it's kind of like a Skeletor sort of thing, but has these tentacles that are coming off of him, and it kind of reminds me of the chains, right? Weren't there a lot of yeah, the chains and stuff, the torture stuff from Hellraiser, and it lives in an attic too, you know, just like where Muscle Man was in Hellraiser. I don't know, I'm just getting a lot of Hellraiser vibes, and I loved Hellraiser. I had a first time watch of it recently. I think it was just last October, because I'd only seen the second one. But I thought Hellraiser was great. Loved it. Thought it was so good, and I like seeing this here. Because the demon or whatever, wizard, Skeletor thing, is like, I'm going to release you of your pain. And that was like, oh yeah, pain and pleasure, Hellraiser. And it I don't know, it was good. It's good. I'm really liking this show, and so far, and even though there are segments I care less about, and I just really want I want it to be good. And I guess there's one more season. For some reason I thought this was the last season, but there's one more season. I wonder what they're going to do, because the kids are getting much older than what we see here. And they're like playing freshmen, and they don't really look like freshmen. Maybe, I mean, you can buy it, but they really don't look like freshmen. Where I think that season 5, they may have to jump some years. We may have to hop into the 90s, because I think it would be good if they took them and put them, like, whatever their actual ages are, wherever that would be in the future. So I'm sure it'd be like early mid-90s, that sort of thing. And I think that's what they should do. I think that would be good. Just for the believability factor, because they're starting to just look like pure adults, right? But yeah, I'm really hyped for this. And right now, Obi-Wan is kind of slow moving for me, but I think things are really going to kick into gear. And I actually did like, I don't know how much I want to give away, but I don't know if I want to give that away anyway. But there's a lot that I liked about Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I'm still skeptical, I guess. So like, how much am I going to like this? I like it, but how much am I going to like it? So yeah, that's where I'm at. Just pop culture everywhere dropped today, yesterday, these recent days. So I thought I would just talk about it. That's all I'm doing. This is just a talk, chat. In the comments, what have you watched so far of these things? What do you think? I'm gonna probably It's kind of late right now, but in the upcoming days, I've seen some people have posted about this already. I've seen people that have posted about Top Gun, people that have posted about Kenobi, Willow. So I need to start hitting up those videos so I can see what everybody else thought. But yeah, if you want to also talk in the comments below, feel free to do so. And perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.